Oh, I thought you were going to have your hat on backward, bro.
I could do that.
Yeah, that's much better.
But I wanted to show it off, Chris. Hold on. I had a plan today, man.
What was the plan?
Well, I don't know if you know what this is. It's a St. Paul hat, old school one back. I'm trying to get the Twins some juju, good juju, man. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been rough. And by the way, I'm shooting this at a different angle. I'm trying to get my audio a little bit better. So I've opened up the bottom of the phone. Hopefully everybody can hear a little bit better, but you're going to get some nose hair in here, so I apologize. My bad.
I think you look great. It's a good angle for you.
Really? Is it? Because really, when you shoot up, you might get an extra chin in here or two. All right, sorry. Let's start with the Fighting Lindors. I don't mean like fighting in the tunnel. I mean like they're showing some fight, like they've won 6 in a row. Do you believe they are the favorite in the National League East?
No, but I like their team. I just don't think there's a real clear-cut favorite. I mean, they've been good. The pitching has been absurd. I like their lineup enough, and they haven't even had, like, Lindor hasn't even been Lindor. Dom Smith has had a down year so far. So if those guys get going, like, yeah, they're going to be there at the end. I'm going to use a word here that my sophomore English teacher used, and I'll never forget it. This division will be like a Donnybrook the rest of the year. A knockdown, drag-out brawl.
I was getting a little more excited for the Crespi education. More than Donnybrook. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, wow,
Donnybrook's a pretty good word.
It's solid. It's solid. No.
I think it's going to be Braves. I think, hopefully Soroka can come back.
Right.
Fried kind of finds his footing again. I love the Braves lineup. And they just haven't – I mean, it's early. They haven't really hit their stride yet. So I got them. I got the Phillies, who I think, I might be the only one that believes in the Phillies, but that's okay. And the Mets. 3 of them are going to be fighting the entire time, and that's good for baseball. I love that.
Yeah, I still worry about the Phillies at the end of games. The Mets, in the meantime, at the end of games have been really, really good. The addition of our buddy from the Chris Rose rotation, Trevor May, I know last night he gave up a run because Almora smashed his face into the wall. By the way, that was unbelievable. I was watching that live, and I was like, is he moving? I was really worried for him.
Yeah, you want your outfielders to go, like, balls out, but sometimes it's like, man, like, you need to be healthy. I mean, I've seen it so much with Buxton and all these outfielders. You want them to be aggressive like that, but then you see something like that, and you're like, dang, like, slow down a little bit.
By the way, I picked the Mets at the beginning of the season. I believe in them. Their defense scares the hell out of me. It really does. Like, they got a lot of guys that should be on an American League team when it comes to glove work. But I still believe in them. As long as DeGrom checks out okay and we think he's going to be okay to lead that rotation. Carlos Carrasco hasn't even pitched for me.
That's true. I forgot about Cookie. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's nasty. Hey, I want to let everybody know that our Instagram live show every day is now presented to you by Dugout Mugs. And I know we just passed Mother's Day, but get a jump on Father's Day. You can actually save 35% when you use the code word ROSE at dugoutmugs.com, and you can go get yourself Dugout Mug. They come engraved. I wouldn't suggest getting Chris Rose on there, but if you want to, that's up to you. You can get the wind up. You got the bottle opener, which is nice, and the shot glass as well. Ooh. So for the first 500 people that use the code word ROSE, you get 35% off. The next 500, you get 30% off. The 500 after that, you get 25% off. So you follow me? So the faster you use the code word ROSE on dugoutmugs.com, the more money you save. I'm just telling you, not because I'm the dad of Jomboy Media, but I'm just telling you, saving money is better than anything else. Thank you. And thank you to Dugout Mugs for helping us out.
Yeah, jump on Father's Day gets left behind. Mother's Day is such a big deal that Father's Day is like,
Yeah. And by the way, if you're like me, and everybody goes, well, what can I get you? Like, this is perfect. Just chilling, watching baseball or watching my kids play. It's good. It's a good deal. All right, let's move on. Shohei Ohtani last night. 10 Ks, only 1 walk. He got the no decision in Houston. Then he moved out to right field immediately to continue playing in the game. Is there going to be a point where we don't even talk about a Shohei Ohtani start and it just becomes part of the nomenclature in baseball? We're like, okay, whatever, it just happened.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's going to be a few years of him doing this because we just, we haven't seen it. And last night he goes into Houston, 7 innings pitched, like you said, 10 Ks. He gave you the 1 walk. That's great. I'm sure you were very excited to see that.
Yeah.
But then he goes and plays, and the guy has a 903 OPS. That's elite. He's an elite pitcher, elite hitter. I don't know how he is with the glove. We haven't seen him too much out there. My advice to him would be just relax. Don't be pulling any Albert Amoras out there.
Right.
But no, I think for the foreseeable future, when we see Ohtani do his thing, it's going to be wow moments for us because, like I said, we just haven't seen this ever.
No, I'm with you. He became the 3rd player since 1900 with at least 10 Ks and then immediately play another position in the game. And he was the first player since Harvey Haddix, I think, in 1952, to go from the pitcher's mound after striking out 10 to go out and then play right field. And Harvey Haddix, of course, is most famous for throwing 12 perfect innings and then losing a game in the 13th inning. Could you imagine that? How horrible that would be? Throw 12 perfect innings, get 36 batters out in a row, and you still end up losing the game? My God.
That's wild, and that baseball doesn't even register in my mind. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, but it's good to learn a little bit about the history of the sport.
100%. I'm just used to guys pitching 5 innings now. 12 freaking innings.
By the way, no, we're going to mention every Ohtani start, good or great or bad, and that's just the way it is because he is so different than anything we've ever seen. Right? I mean, remember a couple of years ago, people were salivating watch Madison Bumgarner hit.
Oh, my God. Awesome. I was going to bring that up today.
What?
Talking about Madison being we used to he was good. He hits a home run here and there. No, not even close. And you know what's cool about Ohtani is people were down on him, because he had some injuries and, we weren't sure if we were going to see the full, Ohtani show. And here we are. And it's an incredible thing to watch.
All right, so let's move on. The A's win the series opener up in Boston, but that is not the big news coming out of Oakland. Major League Baseball said, yeah, you know what, your stadium deal is so screwed up, you can go find a new home if you want. As a guy who played up there in Oakland, what was your immediate reaction?
It's a bargaining chip that they're playing. They've been trying to get the stadium done for a long time. I know there's a lot of different hurdles for them to go through. I know the city of Oakland has gone back and forth with them for a long time. The guy, Dave Cavall, that's running the show up there, he's, from my experience, maybe I don't know him that well, but the guy is very rooted in Oakland. He wants to be there. He's very charismatic about building that stadium. That's his thing. And there's a bunch of different plans. My thought on this whole thing is, yes, it's a bargaining chip. It's leverage, if you will, that MLB is giving Oakland to say, hey, we're going to go shop around. I don't think there should be shopping around at all. We need to be expanding baseball, not moving cities. Just keep the team in Oakland. There's 5 or 6 markets out there that need baseball teams. Mm-hmm. Keep them in Oakland and then expand to these other cities. We do not need to be moving out of Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the designs of those places right up there on the water have been sensational. It always comes to who's going to flip the bill. And I can tell you, having lived in California for 22 years, you're from here, it's not easy to pass a stadium referendum in this state. No. It's just not easy. There's a lot of other issues going on. Not everybody is a huge sports fan. Not everybody can see the future in terms of how many jobs it would create and opportunities and things of that nature. And we're rabid baseball fans and huge sports fans. We don't share the same thinking as everybody that lives in this state. So it's difficult to pass things. With all that being said, if I am an Oakland sports fan, I'm shaken today. I am, because I've lost the Golden State Warriors to San Francisco, which doesn't sound like much, but there is a difference. You can still go see them, but there's a difference. You've lost the Raiders to Las Vegas, and now the thought of losing your hometown A's, which have been around for more than 50 years in that community up there, it sucks for fans. It really, really does. And I feel for him.
It does suck for fans, and Major League Baseball could be the hero here by keeping the team in.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. By the way, did you ever have to, step through shit in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not a great – the Coliseum stinks. Everybody knows that. But, a new, beautiful ballpark that, can create, jobs and opportunities for people, I think that's a good idea. But what you're saying is true. The city of Oakland and the people of Oakland don't want to flip the bill for that. And I think that's the problem going. And Eno Saris, who's one of my favorite baseball writers, he summed it up pretty well on his Twitter yesterday. And I'm paraphrasing here. He's saying, we need to expand. The only problem is MLB wants sweetheart deals on these stadiums. They want taxpayers to flip the bill. That's become a norm for them. While privately they go buy up all the real estate around the ballpark. Stop it. You know,
hey, listen, dude.
Let's pay for some of our own stuff here.
But that's never going to happen. How do rich people stay rich? They get other people's
money. Yeah, I know.
Right. So it's the right thing to do. That doesn't mean that's what's going to get done, unfortunately. All right, let's move back to baseball here. White Sox take the series opener against your Minnesota Twins, who are now 8 games back of first place Chicago. Does it feel like it's over in that division for the Twins?
Kind of. I hate that. Like I told you, I was wearing my St. Paul Saints hat to throw some good vibes out there. When you kind of look at the overall numbers, you know, they've had some good offensive talent there. You know, Buxton was going off before he got hurt. You know, Cruz is doing his thing. I think offensively they've been pretty good. Their starting pitching has even been okay. The bullpen has been kind of
a disaster.
It's been a disaster. It's been bad, and I have some friends there, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But they've been bad, and I think, is that the only thing? I don't know, but it does seem like that division it's far away from them right now. I mean, they need to go on, you know, a Washington Nationals 2019 sort of run to get back in things. And I think, you know, and I'm keeping up with some of the blogs and stuff in Twins world. They have a decision to make because a lot of that roster is pretty dang old. Mm-hmm. So it's getting to crunch time, Chris. We're like, hey, Nelson Cruz could be a fit on another team, and J.A. Happ, or I think it's just J. Happ and Pineda, like these guys, they're going to have decisions on.
They got 5 weeks. They got 5 weeks to figure this out. Mitch Garver said the other day, we basically have put ourselves in a position where we have to win every series in between now and the All-Star break. I don't think it's that dire, in part because they still have 18 more games with the White Sox, and if you go 12-6, you've made up 6 games in the standings right there. But that's a big if. In part because there is nothing that can pull a team apart more than a fractured bullpen. They are all over the place. They are missing veteran arms. They let Trevor May walk. They let Tyler Clippard, Sergio Romo, Whistler. These are guys that were dependable. And whenever you're turning the reins over to somebody else, and listen, this year they thought in Colomé they were bringing in a guy that was going to be dependable. The one thing that Colomé did not do as a successful closer in Chicago and elsewhere was strike out a ton of guys. Always would put the ball in play. And when that happens, when you don't have a guy that's a fire-breathing dragon back there, you're leaving it to chance. Ball finds a hole, ball finds the gap, and that's what's happened, and he's now been replaced as the closer. So it's a disaster there.
Yeah.
I say they've got less than a 5% chance of winning that division, and that's a shame up there because they've really built a nice program.
It is a shame up there. We got Longo in the chat, my freaking guy, and him and I played with Colin. I said it before the season. I said, look, this guy can get the job done. His track record says he can get the job done, but it's hard. It's not easy ninth inning with him. You know, he's gonna have runners on base. It's a high stress inning usually with him, and this year it's just kind of imploded.
Wait a second. Are you saying Evan Longoria is in guest of the Chris Rose Rotation podcast that just came out this? My goodness! Thanks for joining us, Longo. Thanks for joining me on the show. I hope you had a good time. That was awesome. It was fun because we caught up with him. I think he was driving back from wine country or something. So his wife was driving. I mean, she's Superwoman, by the way. She's having their 3rd child. She looks amazing. She's funny, all that sort of stuff. Longo is just along for the ride. So. I
don't know. Longo is kind of like he's one of my favorites, so I think she might be the lucky one. I'm just saying that.
That's very sweet of you, too. You. All right, last one. Maybe, dare I say, best story of the year is Drew Robinson. For people that are unfamiliar with him, he is in the Giants AAA organization. Last night, hit a home run. 13 months ago, tried to take his own life. Ended up losing an eye in the process. Decided not only that he wanted to continue living, wanted to pursue baseball again, and hit a home run yesterday. Is there going to be another better feel-good story than that one, Trev?
Probably not, because he's become this ambassador for mental health in the game. Yep. And, man, baseball's a tough game. And the mental part of it is so big. But this is something that goes obviously way beyond baseball. And Drew is like, he's one of the guys you never would have guessed he was going through anything. I spent a spring training with him, got to know him a little bit. He's one of the, you know, in my eyes, he was so upbeat and happy. And then, obviously he was struggling with something. So for him to go through all of that, I mean, I watched this show on ESPN. I mean, that was tough to watch for me. I'm sure for everybody else. But for him to come back and say, you know what, I want to play. And he did it. He put the work in. He's back playing and hits a homer. He made a diving catch. All these things are going on for him. And it's just, how can you not root for someone like that? And I guarantee every person out there, a majority of people, can see a little bit of themselves in Drew and draw inspiration from it. And I think that is more meaningful than anything he's ever to do on the baseball field.
And he admitted that he's not like all the way back. He admitted that he has moments where he's struggling with things, as are a lot of people out there. And I think if there's anything we can learn, and we like to have fun on this show and, with Jomboy Media, it's important to take care of each other. It really is. Like, check in on your friends. The last 15 months have been a bitch in this country. It has been hard for a lot of people. Check in on people. Call them. Text them. Reach out. Because it's the people sometimes you think are okay that are not okay.
100.
And it takes a lot of courage to step forward and say, hey, I need help. If you're one of those people, have no shame. People that love you and care about you are here for you. And I think that Drew Robinson is the poster child for that. And I am rooting for him. And it's cool that he did it in Las Vegas. He did this 2 miles from where he tried to take his own life. And for him, he said that was very, very emotional. So I'm rooting for him. It would be amazing if he made it back to the show one day.
Think about that. Giants at the top of the division. Drew Robinson up. I mean, wow.
Yeah. And thank you to Jeff Passan of ESPN. I know we like to have a lot of fun with Jeff, but he is a great guy, a phenomenal baseball writer, and he shed a lot of light on this story. So go out and read it on ESPN.com. It really is
he's a second-year Elmo voicer, first-year baseball writer. We'll give that to Jeff.
Yeah, no, he's a better writer. He just doesn't have a better Elmo voice. And Passan, anytime you want to come on, we can do that. So there you go. All right, listen, I think, as I mentioned before you got on, I think we're going to be doing this from the Talkin' Baseball Instagram feed, and maybe you'll be on the Jomboy Media feed when we reconvene Thursday at 11:30 Eastern. We're still working out some of the stuff.
Yeah, so, we'll have to talk about it.
But the point is, you can see it every day on our Jomboy Media Baseball YouTube channel. Okay, so if you miss it one day, it's okay. Come circle back and watch it. It'll get your day started baseball-wise. So enjoy your Wednesday. Tip of the cap to you, sir. I love the hat.